Hey everyone, and welcome back. Today we're going to be taking a deep dive into visualization for manifestation.
Ooh, sounds interesting.
It is. We found this really cool episode of the Manifest Your Life podcast,
Okay.
and it's an interview with this manifestation coach named Amaan.
Gotcha.
And I thought he had some really interesting things to say about turning your visions into reality.
I'm intrigued.
Yeah, so we're going to bring it down in this deep dive.
Awesome.
So Marion, starts off by explaining what visualization actually is.
Right, because it's got to be more than just daydreaming, right?
Yeah, exactly.
There has to be something more to it.
It's more than just daydreaming, and he really emphasizes that it's about creating this clear mental image
Huh.
of what you desire and engaging all your senses to
Yeah.
make it feel real.
So, like, you're really stepping into that vision.
Yeah, and what I thought was really interesting is that he said your subconscious mind
Yeah.
doesn't really distinguish between what you vividly imagine and what you actually experience.
Wow. So you're basically tricking your mind into thinking it's already happened.
Exactly.
Fascinating.
Yeah, it makes you wonder, right? Like, if our subconscious can't tell the difference,
Right.
then what kind of power do we actually have to shape our reality
Yeah. It's a great point.
just by our thoughts?
Absolutely. And that's where I think the importance of being specific comes in.
Right.
Amaan mentions that a lot of people make the mistake of being too vague.
Mm,
When they're visualizing, like, let's say somebody just says, I want success.
right.
Well, what does success look like for you? Is
Yeah.
it, a corner office or, publishing a novel?
Right.
Financial freedom? I mean, it could be so many different things.
That's a really good point because it's like you're going to a restaurant and saying, I want food.
Exactly.
Like the waiter needs more information.
You're not going to get what you want.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So how do we get more specific with our visualizations?
Well, he suggests, like, really brainstorming and thinking about what would make you feel successful. So if it is writing a book,
Yeah.
what does that look like? Is it holding that physical copy in your hand?
Right.
Or is it seeing your name on the New York Times bestseller list?
Yeah.
Really nailing down those specifics is what gives your subconscious mind something to work with.
Okay. So that makes total sense. But I have a question about this idea that our subconscious mind doesn't really differentiate between what's imagined and what's real.
Okay.
So does that mean that we can just visualize something and then sit back and wait for it to magically appear?
That's a great question, and that's something that Amaan addresses directly.
Okay.
He says visualization is definitely powerful, but it's not about passive wishing.
Right.
It's more about setting the energy and aligning yourself with the outcome that you want,
Okay.
but taking action is still essential.
So it's kind of like setting the GPS,
Yeah,
but you still got to get in the car and drive to your destination.
exactly. You got to put in the effort.
Yeah.
He uses the example of manifesting a new job.
Okay.
You can visualize getting that dream job offer.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Feel the excitement, see yourself in that new role.
Yeah.
But you also have to take those steps
Right.
to actually make it happen.
So update your resume and
Yeah.
go on those interviews.
Exactly. Apply for those positions, get yourself out there.
So it's about aligning your internal world
Yeah.
with your external actions.
Absolutely. It's about that harmony
Yeah.
between what you're thinking and feeling and what you're actually doing in the real world.
Okay, so we've got the why behind visualization and the importance of being specific and taking action. But how do we actually do it effectively?
Well, Makamayan shares this really simple 3-step technique that you can easily incorporate into your daily life.
And before we dive into those steps, I'm just curious, have you ever tried any visualization techniques before?
I've dabbled a little bit,
Yeah.
but I've always struggled with making it feel real and like truly believing that it could work. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I'm curious to hear what his approach is.
And how it can help overcome those hurdles.
Yeah.
I have a feeling his technique is going to be pretty practical and easy to follow.
Yeah, I think so too. So let's break it down.
Okay, step 1.
Yeah.
You're going to want to find a quiet space where you can relax and focus your mind.
Okay.
This could be anywhere, really.
Like your bedroom or...
Yeah, your bedroom, a park bench,
Okay.
even your car during your lunch break.
Right.
The key is to minimize distractions and create a sense of stillness.
So it's like creating a mental sanctuary
Exactly.
to connect with yourself.
Yes, and then once you've found that space, you're going to close your eyes and take a few deep breaths.
Uh-huh.
Really release any tension you're holding on to.
Right.
Quiet your thoughts.
So preparing yourself.
Yeah, like preparing a canvas for a masterpiece.
Okay, so step 1 is all about creating a calm and focused mental space.
That's right.
What's next?
So now comes the fun part. Step 2 is where you actually bring your vision to life. This is where you imagine yourself already living that dream that you have.
Okay.
And remember, it's not just about seeing it in your mind's eye and just,
Yeah.
engage all of your senses.
Okay, so if I'm visualizing that dream vacation, I'm not just seeing the turquoise water and the white sand beaches,
Hmm.
but I'm also feeling the warmth of the sun on my skin and hearing the gentle waves lapping at the shore,
Yes, exactly.
and maybe even tasting that delicious tropical drink.
Exactly. The more detailed, the better.
Okay.
It's like creating a mental blueprint.
Uh-huh.
The more vivid your visualization, the stronger the signal that you're sending to your subconscious mind.
So it really is like tricking your mind into thinking that it's already happening.
Yeah, and this makes me think about the idea of acting as if.
Oh, yeah.
Have you heard about that?
Yeah, like behaving as if you've already achieved the goal.
Exactly. And I think those two things go hand in hand.
Right.
Because when you vividly imagine yourself living the dream, it naturally starts to influence your thoughts, your feelings, and even your actions.
So it's about creating that feeling of alignment
Yeah,
between your inner world and your outer world.
absolutely. And that brings us to the third and final step,
Okay.
feeling the emotion.
Ooh.
This is where you really embody the experience of having that desire fulfilled.
Okay, so I'm not just picturing myself, giving that amazing presentation at work,
Right.
but I'm also feeling that wave of confidence, the sense of accomplishment, the joy of sharing my ideas with the world.
Yes, and allow yourself to fully experience those positive emotions,
Okay,
as if your goal has already happened.
that's powerful.
Yeah, he emphasizes that emotions are energy in motion.
Wow.
When you genuinely feel those positive emotions that are associated with your goal, you're aligning yourself with its energetic frequency.
That's so fascinating. I'm wondering if certain emotions are more powerful than others when it comes to manifestation.
I don't know if he necessarily goes into specific emotions, but he does emphasize the importance of choosing emotions that feel genuinely good to you.
Okay.
So it's about tapping into those feelings that inspire and uplift you.
Okay, so finding those emotions that resonate with you.
Exactly. Authenticity is key.
Got it.
Now, you might be wondering, how long do I need to spend doing this each day?
Yeah, because I was just thinking that I'm already feeling a little time crunched.
Don't worry, Amaan assures us that consistency is more important than duration.
Okay.
So even 5 to 10 minutes a day can be incredibly powerful if you do it consistently.
5 to 10 minutes, I can do that.
Absolutely.
That's great.
Think of it like a mental workout.
Yeah,
You wouldn't expect to see results from hitting the gym once a month.
totally.
You gotta approach it with that same regularity to see those changes manifest in your life.
Okay, so we've got these 3 steps. Relax and focus, create a vivid scene, and feel the emotions.
Yes.
But what about those pesky doubts that inevitably kind of creep in?
Oh, yeah.
That little voice that says, this is never going to work.
Oh, I know that voice all too well.
Yeah.
But Imagine acknowledges that those doubts are normal.
Okay.
It's natural for our minds to kind of resist change.
Yeah, even when it's good change.
Yeah. Even when it's positive change.
Yeah, exactly.
So instead of trying to fight them, he suggests a different approach.
Oh, okay. I'm all ears.
He says acknowledge them, thank them for their input, and then gently redirect your focus back to your desired outcome.
It's like having a conversation with that doubtful voice.
Exactly.
So, hey, I hear you, but I'm choosing to focus on this instead.
Yes, precisely.
It's a way of acknowledging those limiting beliefs without giving them power over you.
Exactly. And that ties into another important point he makes.
Okay.
Patience.
Patience.
He says that just because you don't see those results immediately doesn't mean it's not working.
That is a good reminder.
It is, because, we live in a world of instant gratification.
Yes.
We want things and we want them now.
Exactly.
But he encourages us to trust the process.
Okay.
He says it's like planting a seed.
Okay.
You nurture it with your thoughts, your feelings, your actions, but you can't force it to grow on your timeline.
So we have to let go of trying to control every little step and just trust that things are unfolding as they should.
Exactly. You wouldn't dig up a seed every day to see if it sprouted.
That's true.
You got to give it that time and space to grow.
That's a great analogy.
So it's the same thing with your dreams.
Yeah, it really highlights the importance of trust and surrender.
Yeah, it's about having faith that the universe is working in your favor, even if you can't see it yet.
I love that this is all so helpful. Amaran's insights are really starting to shift my perspective on this whole thing.
Me too.
But before we wrap up our deep dive, did he have any other tips or advice for supercharging our visualization practice?
Yeah, he does. He talks about the power of affirmations.
Okay. Affirmations.
You know those positive statements that you can say to yourself
Uh-huh.
that reinforce your belief in your ability to achieve what you want?
So it's like a pep talk.
Yeah, it's like giving yourself a pep talk,
Okay.
but with laser focus on your vision.
So instead of just passively watching myself in my visualization get that dream job, I could also repeat an affirmation, like I am confident and capable,
Yeah. Exactly.
or I am worthy of this opportunity.
Yes, and he suggests kind of weaving those affirmations into your visualization practice
Okay.
to really supercharge the energy and strengthen your belief.
And that ties back to what we were saying before
Yeah,
about our subconscious mind not knowing the difference between what's real and what's imagined.
exactly.
So if we're feeding our subconscious mind these positive statements while we're also visualizing the outcome, it's like a double whammy.
It's like giving it a double dose of belief
Right.
and conviction.
That's so cool. One thing that really struck me was that he also emphasized celebrating those small wins along the way.
Yes, such a good point.
It's so easy to get caught up in what we haven't achieved yet.
Right, and we overlook the progress we've already made.
Yeah.
It's like we're so focused on the destination that we forget to enjoy the journey.
Exactly.
But those small wins are evidence that we're on the right track.
Right.
It's like the universe giving us little breadcrumbs, showing us that, hey, this is working. Yeah.
Like a little pat on the back.
Exactly. Little pat on the back from the universe.
You're doing great.
Keep going.
Okay.
So whether it's, finally finishing that first chapter of your book or getting a positive response to a job application,
Right.
or even just, feeling more confident in your own skin,
Yeah.
take the time to acknowledge and celebrate those wins.
I love that.
It really helps build that momentum and reinforce your belief in yourself.
It's like giving ourselves permission to enjoy the journey and not just focus on the destination.
Exactly. And at the end of the day, that's what this deep dive has been all about,
Yeah.
Recognizing that incredible power we have.
Within ourselves.
Yes, to shape our reality.
His interview was packed with so many valuable insights
It was.
and practical techniques. But is there like one key takeaway that you hope our listeners walk away with?
If I had to pick one, it would be this: your mind is a powerful manifesting tool.
It really is.
What you focus on expands.
That's so true.
So choose your thoughts and visualizations wisely.
Because our thoughts really do create our reality.
They do.
And visualization gives us a way to consciously direct those thoughts
Exactly.
toward what we want.
It's like training our minds to see the possibilities, to believe in ourselves, and to create a future that we actually want.
For our listeners who are ready to start putting these techniques into practice, what would you recommend as a first step?
Start small.
Okay.
Pick something that feels exciting and inspiring to you.
Like what?
Maybe visualizing your ideal day,
Okay.
or a dream vacation, or even just like a delicious meal you're looking forward to.
I like that.
The key is to choose something that feels good and sparks joy.
Yeah, starting small can make it feel less overwhelming.
Exactly. And remember to be patient with yourself.
Good point.
Visualization is like any new skill, it takes practice. But the more you do it, the more natural it will become.
Well, on that note, we're going to wrap up this deep dive into the fascinating world of visualization. But before we go, we want to leave you with a final thought-provoking question. If, as Amaan suggests, our subconscious minds can't tell the difference between what's real and what we vividly imagine, what possibilities does that open up for shaping your reality?
Whoa. That's a powerful question.
It really is.
It makes you think
It does.
about the potential that we all have.
We encourage you to experiment with these techniques
Yes.
and just see what unfolds.
You might be surprised
You might be.
at what you can create.
Thanks for joining us on this deep dive.
It's been fun.